We are live. What's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome to my Godot 4 live dev stream. Welcome to my channel. This channel is JHat, short for my name, which I won't dox myself immediately, I guess, but pretty easy to find out there. So what are we doing today? We're actually some live dev, namely in Python and GDScript, and we're going to be making a thing that I've had on my mind for a while now. And what this thing is imagine, if you will, Twitch plays Pokemon. You know how it would scrub all the chat logs, collect all the different commands that everyone input, and control the character on the screen. Sort of like that, except every single person's controlling their own character on the screen in a little lo-fi cafe type pixel world environment, right? I think it's a cool little project, a little portfolio piece. And yeah, so happy to have you along while I try to do that. So let me just get my environment set up here right before I switch over. Let me also check to make sure we're live. Good. Yeah, looks good. Sweet. Let me get Godot whipped up here, and then I can share screen. So the name of this project that I'm doing, I call it Livestream Lobby, and the reason for that is it is a lobby you go in for live streaming. The live streamers go into the lobby. The people are in the lobby of a live stream. That's why. Boom. Let's try that. Boomer brain. Sweet. I was talking about like the design of what I'm even up to here. What I'm thinking Okay, so we got our YouTube is where the video plays. That's your chat, right? We got a little Python script. It's gonna steal our chat. Feed that chat into Godot. And then that, you're just gonna get captured by OBS and piped up. And at that point, it's just straight Godot dev to make all the game and features and what have you. And yeah, so I've got some boilerplate that like just chat GPT, but I don't know if it's any good. And I'll be honest, I didn't even like check to make sure it's right. So I think I'm going to start just with that boilerplate and kind of work through it to see if I can make sure it's good. Probably just like output what it's got, what it does to a log or something. And so yeah, let's look at what GPT was able to do for us. So notably, this thing's called YouTube Sidecar, and that's a name that I came up with. I don't really understand sidecar pattern. I don't know why we call this thing a pattern. I'll probably be worth me looking into, but let me write that down. We can table that to look into together, maybe. I mean, I get it's like the idea of like the sidecar of like a motorcycle. It's like this extra bit of code that just lives on the side of your main deployment or whatever. But like, why do we need this thing to be a pattern? Why not just like call it a service? Is it just a service? Maybe it's service pattern, but it doesn't get spun up within the main thing. I don't really know. We'll find out. I'll find out and report back. But back into this code. Sure, fine, sure, fine. Give the live video ID, not channel ID. If you only have the URL, pass the v parameter value. I'm going to start right here. Heartbeat's pretty convenient. It just is going to like double check the stream to make sure it's actually live every few minutes. So that's, you know, not something I'm clever enough to have done, but I understand what it's doing. So we'll go ahead and keep that. Yes, I mean that looks like pretty neat. Or whatever. See if it's broke though. By the way, my environment, what I'm using here is just like VS Code with what's my August themes. Really pretty theme, I think. And then like a random suite of Python extensions that GPT recommended for Python dev. So I'm like, I use Python at my day job, but I don't ever like set up the actual environment, and so like I kind of just lean on what they provide. But so far so good, I guess. I'm really digging these dev containers. This is something that's new to the job, my day job, that like I've never have used before. But man, it's nice. Like I don't think I'll ever necessarily do a project anymore like that I intend to support long term that I won't put in a dev container, because like if you don't know how these things work, basically if you have this virtualized container that your dev work is happening within, and so all the dependencies and the extensions and stuff you need all gets like added to that box. So you can now pick up this box, take all your garbage, throw it in a box, pick up the box, hand it over to a friend. They look in the box and dev with the stuff that's in there, rather than needing to go and collect all the different pieces again for themselves. You can just pass around this box, if you will. It's not a great analogy because there's like multiple of the boxes once you make copies of it, but like more than one person can work, at the same time with the stuff in the box. But the dependencies are shipped as a bundle, and that's beautiful. So really digging that. Thing even alive? I'll rebuild that guy. So what's happening now is like that box that I told you about, these dependencies all still need like built, even though they come to you in the box. Time to time, if you mess them up or something, you have to like reconstruct all the components that are in the box to make sure it's nice and clean to work in there. That's what we just did. Okay, so fresh take, and we're going to just try to run this thing. I need the stream name. Give me 1 sec. I don't want to. So what we're going to do is find a random live stream. Or maybe just use this live stream. I gotta have a live stream to actually connect this thing to in order to like test the chat. Which is probably gonna end up being this current stream. So if there was anybody actually watching, you could totally throw something in the chat and yeah, have it pop up in our little app thing once we get that far, but we're not that far, so it won't pop up, so don't even try. Got no errors. Let me try writing some of this chat here. So, okay, like, maybe it's connected, but nothing in this chat's actually, like, coming through. So I don't know that I actually have anything in here. It's gonna take the YouTube chat and spit it out into, like, terminal. So let me try to find a good place to have that. Run chat, do. Oh, great. All chat is live. Get sync items. Blue. Console log. There. Oh, I console log in Python. The out. Print. Dope. Alright, be it. That never happened. All right. Trying again. Whoa. Yo. Okay, that actually worked. So, for all you non-viewers that are not here, I just typed something in YouTube chat, and it did indeed get picked up by this crap GPT-generated Python sidecar. So, next we just need to take this output and feed it into parser, or we need to parse it beforehand, and then feed it. Probably just feed it straight into Godot and then handle it in GDScript. Let's think about that. Would there be a reason that we'd want to parse on the front end? I guess like you could make it easier on the Godot app, which is probably less efficient than Python, but it's probably just Python wrapped, so maybe that doesn't matter. Let's just get it into Godot first, and we can worry about like what I'm actually like thinking about worrying about is like filtering, because like you don't want all the things that all the people say always going into the parser all the time, because people suck. So what I don't know really is like, are we going to filter these messages in this Python app, which might be really nice and convenient actually because it's Python, or are we going to hand it over to Godot, and then in GDScript we're going to do it in Python because I can automatically, not automatically, but like I can import text filtering libraries that already exist, I imagine, for things like curse words and stuff. If we want to like make it to where like people's chat messages pop up above characters and everything, then like we probably want some sort of like filtering for that kind of crap. So I imagine something like that already exists in Python. Definitely probably doesn't exist in GDScript. So that's what we're going to do. But in the immediate right now, we're going to work on this next part, which is just take that and feed it into Godot. And to do that, I have, lo and behold, some more trash GPT boilerplate to work through. Oh, here we are. So, this dude, whoops, is supposedly the ingest, and I know how it works. 0% so far. And it's all broke. Okay, this guy though extends node, which is kind of the base. So I think this is where we start. We got something called chat bus. So we got a mutex, so we're locking some chunk of memory. Moving and writing to it. Pack string array, okay. So it seems like this has like a system where the Python will push on to an array, we push it on, push on, push on, and then like at some point the Godot script is going to take that chunk, lock it, duplicate it real quick, and then unlock it. So the Godot script is actually going to access that duplicated copy so that the Python script can continue shoving chat messages onto the original queue while the duplicate queue is being copied. So that's my understanding what this local is. And what I don't really understand, parsing emit line. Okay, parsing emit takes. Okay, so this is where the let's actually comment this guy real quick. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, okay, there we go. That'd make a lot more sense if you saw my keyboard. Check this out. No symbols, no symbols. Sometimes I have to go hunting. Sweet. Okay, so making a comment here. This is where the Python sidecar load. Okay. So we get what those two do. Prefixes. Oh, cool. So these are going to be these are what's you can lead the chat commands with. So this is not actually the format that I wanted to go with necessarily, but it's fine. We'll work with it for now and then pivot it how we need to later. I'll slap this guy on here for a minute while I go use a restroom. And back. Oh, that looks so cool. Yeah, so this is a really cool thing. If you haven't seen it yet, this is just a site made by a guy named Inigo Colette. If I'm saying his name wrong, I apologize. And someone else. Yeah. Um, but basically, you can go on here, and it's just like a web GUI, GLSL, I think, to build your shaders. You know, here in this browser app, share them. You know, credit to iKick for this neat intermission shader here. Very, very cool. Got other cool work as well. Super dope. I gotta know what these are. Cloud 8 tunnel. Okay. Okay, cool. And yeah, this is Inigo Quille. We'll highlight here. He is a straight up G when it comes to real software engineering stuff. Very cool guy. Highly recommend. Anyway, yeah, that's something we'll keep doing, is picking cool shaders for intermission. I should make a scene. It says BRB. Cool. So command consumer, I have to assume, is some step in between this chat bus that we saw and the Python portion. Let's see. So this extends to unready no actor ready. Okay, so this does triggering whenever okay. After the chat bus cleans off and parses and handles the command and stuff, this guy is going to do the actual gameplay that's associated with that. So let's rename this guy. Give me one moment. All right. Go. The last one to understand is YouTube ingest. Ah, okay. So this guy is going to hook up with our Python sidecar. That's what this IP import is about here. So if you remember back in our Python DLIO, we had this WebSocket that we opened up here. This WebSocket's going to be open whenever our Python thing's running, which should be like right now. Yeah. And then this guy is going to connect to that WebSocket, or it's a URL to it. And we'll see WebSocket peer new. Okay. And we can just connect WebSockets. That's the thing we can do, I guess. Okay, there's the function there. Choo.